morning to all of you. In our today's class, we are going to learn about body fluids and circulation. You have learned brief account about this topic in your 10th standard in the chapter transportation, that is life processes. Okay, we are going to have a detailed account in here in the 11th class. Now we are going to have a brief account about the introductory part first, and then we will come to the details of the chapter. Okay, so the transportation system or circulatory system is required by all the organisms so that the substances can move in and out of the body or cells. Now different group of animals are having the different types of transport systems, and the type of transport system depends on the grade of organization. If the grade of organization is simple, like cellular grade, say for example in sponges and coelentrates, the grade of organization is the cellular grade. So there what happened, the water moves inside the body and it takes all the things that are required by the organism, and the same water when comes out of the body cavity, then it brings the waste and the unwanted thing out from the body of the individual. So here the water is the medium, and that medium moves in and out of the body cavity and help in the transportation of the material. Whereas in case of complex organisms like we individuals, cat, dog, we have a special fluids in our body, and these fluids help in the transportation of the different type of material. So blood and lymph are the special fluids that are helping in transportation of material when you talk about the human beings or man. You have already learned about blood and lymph in your 10th standard, so we will discuss again the first connective tissue or the transport tissue, that is the blood. Now blood has a very simple definition. It is a special fluid connective tissue because the matrix is liquid. That is why we define it like that it is a fluid connective tissue. Now let us talk about in brief the composition of the blood. The blood is formed of two components, the liquid part and the solid part. The liquid part is known as plasma and the solid part is known as cells or formed elements. Okay. Now the plasma is basically having water, proteins, mineral, waste material in it, whereas the formed elements is formed of red blood corpuscles, which are also known as erythrocytes, white blood corpuscles, which are also known as leukocytes, and platelets, which are also known as thrombocytes. This much you have already learned in the 10th standard also. Okay. Now we will have a detailed account about the plasma first, and then we will discuss the formed elements in detail, that is RBC, WBC and platelets. Okay, now let us discuss in detail about the liquid part of the blood, that is the plasma. It is the straw colored viscous fluid that is containing 90 to 92% of water and 6 to 8% of proteins. These are the proteins that are present in the plasma. First protein is a fibrinogen that helps in blood clotting. The second protein is the globulin that provide immunity to the body, and the third group of protein which is present is the albumin, and that helps in maintaining the osmotic balance. The plasma is also having the mineral ions like sodium ion, bicarbonate ion, chlorine ion, magnesium ions and many other. Besides that, the plasma also had the organic substances like glucose, lipids, amino acids. They also have the waste material, that is the respiratory waste, which is the carbon dioxide, and excretory waste or the nitrogenous waste, which is the urea. Now when you remove the clotting factor from plasma, then that is known as serum. Now we will discuss about the formed elements in detail. I told you that there are three formed elements or cells: RBC, that is also known as erythrocytes, WBC, which is also known as leukocytes, and platelets, which is also known as thrombocytes. We will discuss the RBC or erythrocytes in detail first. Okay, so this is most abundantly found in number. A healthy individual has 5 to 5 million RBC per cubic millimeter of blood. These are formed in the long bones of your body, in the bone marrow, like the bone of your arm, the bone of your thigh, where the bone is having a material that is known as bone marrow, and within that bone marrow the blood cells are formed. They are not having nucleus and they are biconcave in shape, and they have a special pigment which is known as hemoglobin. We have already learned about hemoglobin in the respiration part. It is respiratory pigment because it helps in transportation of respiratory gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. An adult human being is going to have 10 to 16 grams of hemoglobin every 100 ml of the blood. This is an iron containing pigment and it provides red color to the blood. Now the lifespan of RBC is 120 days. After every 120 days, new RBCs are getting formed. Now the dead RBC is getting buried in the spleen. That is why spleen is known as graveyard of RBC. That's all about the first formed element, that is the RBC or erythrocytes. Okay, now we will discuss the next type of cells or the formed element, that is white blood corpuscle, which is also known as leukocytes. Now they are basically colorless because they don't have the hemoglobin pigment in them. These cells are nucleated and they are less in number, that is around 6,000 to 8,000 per cubic millimeter of the blood. Now the main function of white blood corpuscles, as you have learned in your previous classes also, is to provide the immunity, which is defined as disease resistance power. So there are different type of white blood cells that are present in the body and they work as a defense mechanism for the body. Now the main classification is shown here in the table. Now there are two types, that is granulocytes and agranulocytes. This is basically the matrix which define that if the granules are there, then they are granulocytes, and if they are without the granule, then agranulocytes. Now among the granulocytes, the three types are there: neutrophils, basophils and eosinophils, where neutrophils are maximum in number and eosinophils is minimum in number. We will discuss their functions later. Now among the agranulocytes, there are two types, that is monocytes and lymphocytes. These both are responsible for immunity, and the lymphocytes are further classified into two types, that is B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. Why it is known as B lymphocyte? Because it is formed in bone marrow, and T lymphocyte is formed in a thymus. You very well know that thymus is a gland that is present in the chest cavity, just around the heart. Okay, so this is the complete classification of different type of white blood cells. Now let us look out for the functions of granulocytes first. The neutrophils are phagocytic in nature and they destroy the foreign particle if it enters the body. So it basically provided immunity. Basophils is involved in inflammatory reaction. Inflammation means swelling. So wherever in your body you are having this swelling, then the basophils are released. They release the chemicals like histamine, heparin, serotonin, which settle the inflammation. The next is the eosinophils. These are basically associated with allergy. Many people have got the allergy with many type of particles like dust is there, pollen grains are there. So whenever you have any sort of allergy, then under that condition the eosinophils are working. Now we have discussed already that these two are basically dealing with the immunity, and B lymphocytes are formed in bone marrow and T lymphocytes are basically present in the thymus. Okay, so this is the second category of formed element, that is WBC or leukocytes. Okay, the last formed element that we are going to learn in the blood is the platelets or thrombocytes. Now these are small colorless cell fragments. They are formed in the bone marrow and their main function is formation of blood clot or blood clotting. You very well know what is blood clotting. Whenever you get injured, the blood starts coming out, and after few moments you will see that suddenly the blood stops, and at the site of injury or a wound there is a jelly-like material formed, red jelly-like. That red jelly-like material is the clot. So the main function of the platelets is clotting of the blood. We will discuss the complete process of blood clotting as we will proceed in the chapter.